Hello students, Miss Lockhart here. Let's finish our 3D flower collage. So I'm just gonna make sure my leaves are still curled up and three-dimensional. And this first step is to color the background before we add too many more flowers. Now you may have used a blue piece of paper or a different color piece of paper and you might not want to color the background, which is okay. You can always add details like clouds or a sun, who knows what you want to add in the background. But go ahead and do that. I'm gonna start by drawing a horizon line. Go ahead and do that. Even if you're using a blue piece of paper, draw a horizon line, but that's always a good idea to separate the space. So now there's a background and a foreground, which just means the space in front, like the tabletop where the vase of flowers is sitting. Okay, so I'm gonna decide to color my background, the sky. It's gonna be blue. I'm gonna use colored pencils. You can use anything you have at home or at school to color in the background. I'm gonna show you how to draw clouds. Now I'm using a blue colored pencil. First, start by doing a horizontal line that goes from left to right in the sky, and then you can see I did a bunch of little curved lines above it. And you can do that as many times as you would like and change it up too. Maybe your clouds have bigger curves or smaller curves. And you can see I'm gonna do about 5. So far I've done 4. Okay, let's do one more over here so it's even. So that space has something in it too on the left. All right, I'm gonna leave those clouds white and color all of the space around it blue. Now I'm going to be careful and go around the stems and leaves and flowers I've already glued down. I'm gonna try not to go over them with whatever I'm using to color with. And you can go behind your 3D leaves and behind the 3D flowers. And go ahead and color at your own pace and fill in the background. And remember, you can make yours any colors you'd like with any design in the background you would like. Okay, everybody, have fun with the background, and then we will make something really cool on the tabletop, something like a pattern or a neat design. Okay, I've gone over the background a few times with blue, so now it's nice and even. And now I'm going to start on the foreground or tabletop. And I'm gonna create a pattern. Now your pattern can be different from mine. It's as if it were a tablecloth or some sort of fun texture. Something that the vase is sitting on top of. Now you might have your own creative ideas, so definitely have fun with that. Now I've done multiple horizontal lines, which just means lines that go from left to right. Now you can also use a ruler if you're gonna do that, or you can come up with your own pattern. Now you can see I'm filling it in zigzag lines. And I'll go ahead and do these lines all the way over to the left side so that it's symmetrical. Now this tabletop and the background are not the main elements of this piece of art. The main element is the 3D flowers, so don't worry too much about the tabletop or the background. Just go ahead and color it in and make it look nice and create some patterns and a few details, because we're going to be adding all of the really cool 3D effects in just a minute. So have fun and make your foreground and background look nice. You can always pause the video so you have more time to finish coloring. When you're ready, go ahead and start to watch how to make this new really cool flower design. It almost looks like a daisy or a sunflower. So I'm using a long strip of paper, and remember you can use any colors you want. And I'm drawing lines down the paper. I drew, I think 9 or 10 lines. It's up to you. But don't make it any longer than your hand. Make sure it's shorter than the length of your hand. And then you can cut down these lines. And try to stay on the actual drawing. Okay, now check this out. These are gonna be the petals, these little tabs, and you wanna see the color of whatever you're using to draw with. So when you fold it in on itself like this to make a cylinder, make sure your drawing is on the inside. You see how my pink lines are on the inside? And then use your liquid school glue to glue down these two sides, hold it together for at least 10 to 20 seconds. You'll know when it stays because when you release your pressure, it'll stay. And then that'll be good. Okay, it's about ready. Now it's staying great. So I can now fold over the petals so that you can see them a little bit better. And do you see how my drawing is upright because I made sure to keep it on the inside of that cylinder I just made? Now I'm folding these out and they look really cute, like little petals. If you wanted, you could even trim them to be pointed, but I like them rectangular and sort of angled like that. Okay, well that will be my really cute little sunflower. Now I'm gonna do the middle of it. So I need to do a circle. I need to draw a circle with any color I want. Same for you, whatever you have at home. And the circle needs to be about the same size as the inside of the flower. So you can always make it a little bit bigger just in case you're not sure. And then let's cut it out. We're gonna be making a cone again. Now, if you remember from last week, we made a cone and it's really fun. You cut out a circle and I'm gonna do a little bit of a fun spiral design in there to give it texture. Let's add some more color. Okay, so now you cut it down the middle like a Pac-Man, remember? And then you overlap the two sides and glue them together. And you'll see when they're overlapped, they make a cone. Watch it, watch this. I put the glue down and you can see that cone shape. Hold the glue at least 10 to 20 seconds. And do you see how this is gonna go inside the flower? And I also just use the side of the flower to get the extra glue off. But don't worry if you have extra glue, it will dry clear. And you can always get it off with a paper towel if you get too much glue on anything. And look at that, it fits pretty well. And the glue isn't all the way dry, so you can always make it bigger or smaller if it didn't fit perfectly the first time inside your petals. And now I'm putting glue all around the perimeter of my cone I just made. So you need lots of glue. Put a lot of glue, and you can even do it again around the cone once it's placed on the stem you would like it to be on. And there I'm going to now add the petals on top of the extra glue. So this will be sturdy, and I'm even adding more glue inside. It will be sturdy when the glue is completely dry. Make sure you don't just pick up this collage immediately after you glue it because your pieces could fall. But once it's dry, it'll be good and strong. So I'm gonna do another type of flower now where it's gonna have two cones, one small and one big. So I'm going to be repeating the steps from before and cutting out circles. You will need a bigger one like this and a smaller one with a different color construction paper. Okay. Here's my smaller circle. And I'm gonna cut this one out also. Both of these circles are gonna be Pac-Man's next with a little slit down the middle, and then we're gonna overlap to make cones like we've done before. And you can be creative and think of your own 3D flower design. If you have an idea, it sure is fun to build 3D shapes with paper. So I'm gonna overlap these circles where it's cut to make a cone. I'll do the big one first and hold it together for about 20 seconds. And sometimes you really have to wait a while. If it doesn't stick, that's okay. Just keep holding it and hold it a little bit tighter. Maybe you need to add some more glue. Okay, so that cone is ready, and I added extra glue where it's gonna hit the paper. So you wanna make sure you put glue where the cone will actually hit the paper, and then you can press it down on your background paper. And now I'm doing this small cone for the middle, the same way. So I cut it and then overlapped the sides with lots of glue. And then I added more glue to then put it inside the bigger one, see? It's really fun. And you can elaborate on this if you really like making cones. You can put another one inside that. Or you can do the opposite direction, so it's coming outward like I did in the sunflower. Okay, so now I'm gonna do one more type of flower, and I'm using a new piece of paper, no longer than the length of my hand. I've drawn a zigzag line. So you can go ahead and do that. And remember, you can pause this video as much as you want. So I've made my zigzag line on a strip of paper, and now I have cut it out, almost, which is what you will need to do. So this is going to be a flower that has pointed petals. It's just like the sunflower inspired one with the yellow paper, but it has pointed zigzag petals instead of squares. And it almost looks like a crown, like for a king or queen. And then I'm going to connect the two sides, add some glue. I'm gonna make sure my drawing part is on the inside of this cone shape or crown shape. Holding it together and waiting. And I'm gonna fold over these, the zigzag line turned into a bunch of triangles. Isn't that cute? So I folded them over so that you can see them be more three-dimensional and more horizontal. Now for the middle. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw a circle. And I had to kind of hold it up and see how big it needed to be. It needs to fit inside the petals I just made. So that's about the right size. And this one I'm just gonna glue flat because there's already a 3D element, which is the petals. So I'm gonna have that flat middle part gluing down, and I added more glue for the petals to go on top. Well, let's choose our own favorite design and make our last flower. I am choosing the one with the zigzag lines to make the pointed leaves, plus there's that extra piece of paper left over. So I'm gonna use that maybe and make another flower with the triangular shaped petals. You can pause the video and make your own kind of flower or do one of the designs we talked about before. Once you're ready, you can start on your vase, which is what I'm doing now. To do that, you're gonna need a pretty wide piece of paper. It needs to be twice the width of the vase. So I'm kind of holding it up and looking, okay, it's about that wide. All right, I need two of those. So I make a line that's at least two of the vases, so it's about twice the width. And then I made it a curved line, and I did another curved line below, and two vertical lines connecting the curved lines, just like we did originally when we drew our vase. It's just twice as wide. And then you can cut out your large vase shape. And let me show you how this is gonna work. Once it's cut out, you can see that there's extra length on both sides. You'll fold those sides over, and then that's what you'll glue. I'll show you in just a second. But since I have the scrap paper, I think I'm gonna add it to my vase just to give it some fun extra color and pattern. And I recommend you add something cool too, maybe a drawing. You can definitely add whatever you would like to your pretty vase. And then we'll glue it down. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue down my extra paper that I'm collaging on top of my vase first. And then let me show you how to fold over the sides. Watch this. So I just fold over the sides about 1/2 inch, and my glue is still kind of wet. You could wait a minute and do it in a minute if you've got sticky fingers. And then look here how I fold it over, and then those folded sides are what is going to have glue on them, and those will be glued on the outside of your vase drawing, like that. So you can play with it until you start to see half of a cylinder. When it's curved over on top of your drawing, it should look like a curved arch or half a cylinder. So I put my glue on my folds, and it's kind of hard to line it up, so just take as much time as you need. And once it's lined up pretty straight on both sides and it matches your drawing, you can hold it in place for 10 to 20 seconds, maybe longer if you need. And I'm even gonna put my finger inside this cylinder to hold down the flaps a little bit more. It's hard to get that angle to show you, but my finger is inside the cylinder holding the flaps down so it stays. And just keep squeezing it so that it keeps having that arch and that curved 3D element. And that's it. I cannot wait to see your beautiful 3D flower designs.